Where does a man go when he's had enough without? He goes within. But should he choose to visit his inner sanctum often enough, he will never see himself as having had enough. Imagine stepping away from the digital noise, the constant chatter of opinions, the relentless demands on your attention. Away from all that and back into yourself through a deliberate choice to be alone. In the stillness of your concentrated inner self, in the solitude within, your mind begins to settle, like a snow globe after it's been shaken. The swirling thoughts and anxieties gradually fall away, revealing a clearer picture of your true self. This is where the magic happens. In solitude, you reconnect with your values, your passions, and your deepest desires. You examine your beliefs, question your assumptions, and gain a deeper understanding of who you are and what you want out of life. Yet take this alone time to the extreme, and it is no longer a path to empowerment. The Stoics knew it. They saw this separation as a double-edged sword, recognizing its potential for both growth and stagnation. On one hand, the Stoics championed solitude as a powerful tool for self-discovery and inner peace. This inner work, the Stoics believed, was essential for cultivating wisdom, resilience, and a sense of self-reliance that could weather any storm. But here's the catch. The Stoics weren't advocating for a hermit lifestyle. They understood that humans are social animals, wired for connection and belonging. Excessive or complete isolation, they warned, could lead to loneliness, bitterness, and a disconnect from our shared humanity. The Stoics, therefore, emphasized the importance of community and our interconnectedness with others. They believed we have a duty to contribute to the well-being of society, to lend a helping hand, and to offer support to those in need. The Stoic approach to solitude, then, is about finding balance. It's about carving out time for self-reflection and introspection, while also nurturing meaningful connections with others. It's about recognizing that both solitude and social engagement are essential ingredients for a flourishing life. Too much salt can ruin a dish, but a pinch can enhance its flavor. Similarly, too much solitude can lead to isolation, but a healthy dose can spice up your life with self-awareness, wisdom, and inner peace. Remember, the Stoics weren't just armchair philosophers. They were practical thinkers who applied their philosophy to real-life challenges. Their message is clear: embrace solitude as a tool for growth, but don't let it become a prison. Find the sweet spot between solitude and social engagement, and you'll unlock a life that is both rich in inner peace and deeply connected to the world around you. Solitude is not isolation. Now, let's get better. How to know yourself. Think of solitude as a mental detox chamber. In the silence, the endless chatter of your thoughts begins to fade. What emerges from this stillness is a deeper awareness of your inner landscape, your values, your beliefs, your motivations. It's like finally getting a clear view of the stars after the city lights have dimmed. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor and philosopher, put it beautifully: nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul. An instant's recollection, and there it is, complete tranquility. In solitude, you create a sanctuary where you can examine your thoughts and emotions without the distractions of external influences. It's like taking off the soul-canceling headphones the world imposes on us, the ones that deafen us to our inner voice, and truly hearing yourself for the first time. This self-reflection isn't about self-criticism or judgment. It's about curiosity and exploration. It's about asking yourself those big questions for clarity. What truly matters to me? What are my priorities? Am I living in alignment with my values? In the quiet of solitude, you might discover hidden desires, uncover limiting beliefs, or gain new insights into your relationships and career, details you never noticed before. And if you're lucky, you just might find yourself. Remember, you may face the world together with others, but what follows the experience, the emotions, the feeling, the lessons, they are yours. You only ever learn as yourself, and ultimately, even your experience in this world is singular. So, take a break from experiencing things and let them sink in singularly like they are supposed to. Before you help anyone else, help yourself. Solitude also allows you to connect with your intuition, that inner voice that often gets drowned out by the noise of the world. It's a chance to listen to your gut, to trust your instincts, and to make decisions that feel authentic and aligned with your true self. This isn't to say that solitude is a magic bullet for all of life's challenges, but it's a powerful tool for gaining the clarity essential for self-discovery and personal growth. By carving out time for quiet reflection, you're investing in your own well-being, in your ability to navigate life's complexities with wisdom and grace. The next time you feel overwhelmed, stressed, or disconnected, try unplugging from the world and spending some time in solitude. Go for a walk in nature, meditate, journal, or simply sit in silence and observe your thoughts. Seneca said, "These things are not essentially difficult. It is we who are soft and slack." Daring to be alone with your thoughts can be a challenge, but it's a challenge worth taking. The rewards are immense: greater self-awareness, clearer thinking, and a deeper connection to your own inner wisdom. So go ahead and give it a try. You might be surprised at what you discover. Build inner strength. Think of solitude as a mental boot camp for your soul. It's where you shed the armor of external validation and forge an unbreakable spirit from within. It's not about becoming a hermit or rejecting human connection. It's about embracing alone time as an opportunity to cultivate self-reliance and resilience. After all, isn't that what inner strength truly is? Imagine a lone wolf howling at the moon in the vast wilderness. It doesn't rely on the approval of the pack. It trusts its own instincts, its own strength, its own path. Similarly, spending time in solitude allows you to tap into your own inner compass, to discover your values, your passions, and your purpose, free from the distractions and influences of others. When you're constantly surrounded by noise and opinions, it's easy to lose sight of your own voice, your own truth, your own strengths. But in solitude, you can tune out the external chatter and tune into your own inner wisdom, or the cultivation of it. When you go inside, you drop the act. And when you drop your act, you begin to see the acts others had put on. And when you do that, you begin to see the act you had put on. You don't just see everything else clearly, you see yourself more clearly than ever. You ask yourself, could I be a better judge of the people I want to surround myself with? What is important to me, my place in the world, or what they think is my place in the world? Why must I define success the way they define success? This process of self-discovery can be uncomfortable at first. We're so used to seeking validation from others that it can feel unsettling to rely solely on our own judgment. But the more time you spend in solitude, the more comfortable you become in your own company. You start to trust your own instincts, your own decisions, your own path. This newfound self-reliance translates into resilience in the face of life's challenges. When you're not constantly seeking approval from others, you're less vulnerable to their criticisms and judgments. You're less likely to be swayed by their opinions and more likely to stand firm in your own beliefs. Think of it like building a house on a solid foundation. When the storms of life come, a house built on shifting sands will crumble, but a house built on rock will stand strong. Solitude is the bedrock of your inner strength, the foundation upon which you can build a life of resilience and unwavering purpose. The next time you find yourself craving external validation or doubting your own abilities, try stepping away from the crowd and spending some time in solitude. By daring to embrace solitude, you'd not only cultivate inner strength, but also unleash your full potential. You'll become the captain of your own ship, navigating life's challenges with confidence, courage, and unwavering self-belief. The art of alone. Ever felt like your mind is a hamster wheel, constantly churning but going nowhere fast? In today's world, with its endless distractions and demands on our attention, it's easy to get stuck in a rut, struggling to find that spark of creativity or the focus to tackle complex tasks. But what if the key to unlocking your full potential lies not in more stimulation, but in less? The Stoics understood the power of solitude as a catalyst for creativity and productivity. They recognized that a quiet mind is a fertile ground for new ideas and solutions, like a fallow field ready to be sown with seeds of inspiration. In solitude, in this space of stillness, your mind begins to declutter, like a room with the windows thrown open to let in fresh air and sunlight. The mental chatter subsides, allowing your intuition and imagination to roam free. Think of it like a brainstorming session with your own subconscious. In solitude, you can tap into a deeper well of creativity, generating ideas and solutions that might have been drowned out by the noise of everyday life. It's like stepping off the beaten path and exploring uncharted territory where new possibilities and insights await. But solitude isn't just about generating new ideas. It's also about focusing on those ideas and bringing them to fruition. The absence of distractions allows for deep work, that state of intense concentration, where we can truly immerse ourselves in a task and make significant progress. It's like a magnifying glass that intensifies our focus, allowing us to see details we might have missed and make connections we might not have otherwise made. Think of a writer struggling with writer's block. They try everything, brainstorming with friends, listening to music, even changing their writing environment, but nothing seems to work. Then they decide to take a solitary retreat, spending a few days in a quiet cabin in the woods. Away from the distractions of everyday life, their creativity begins to flow again. The words come easily, the ideas connect, and soon they've produced a masterpiece. Solitude, then, is not just a luxury, but a necessity for those who seek to unleash their full creative and productive potential. It's a time to recharge, to reflect, to reconnect with our deepest passions and aspirations. It's a space where we can cultivate the focus and clarity we need to tackle our most ambitious goals. So, if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or uninspired, try stepping away from the noise and embracing solitude. Carve out some time each day to disconnect from technology, to sit in silence, to let your mind wander. You might be surprised at the creative sparks that fly and the productivity that blossoms. Solitude for mental and emotional well-being. Ever feel like your mind is a browser with too many tabs open, slowing down and threatening to crash? In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to forget the restorative power of silence and solitude. But the Stoics knew that true peace of mind comes not from constant stimulation, but from creating space for stillness and reflection, a space of healing for both your body and mind. Think of solitude as a mental spa day. It's a chance to disconnect from the digital world, to silence the notifications, to step away from the screens that demand your attention. It's a time to unplug, recharge, and reconnect with your inner self. The Stoics understood that our minds need rest, just like our bodies. When we're constantly bombarded with information and stimulation, we can become overwhelmed, stressed, and burnt out. Solitude provides a much-needed respite, a chance to de-stress and recharge our mental batteries. Imagine yourself sitting by a quiet lake, surrounded by the serene beauty of nature. The only sounds are the gentle lapping of waves against the shore and the occasional bird song. Your mind begins to slow down, your breathing deepens, and a sense of peace washes over you. That's the power of solitude. It allows us to step away from the chaos of modern life and create space for stillness and reflection. In this quiet space, we can process our emotions, gain clarity on our thoughts, and connect with our deepest values and aspirations. This doesn't mean you have to retreat to a remote cabin in the woods. Even small pockets of solitude can make a big difference. It could be as simple as taking a walk in nature without your phone, spending a few minutes in quiet meditation, or simply turning off the TV and enjoying the silence. By making solitude a regular practice, you're not just giving your mind a break, you're also cultivating a sense of inner peace and resilience that can help you weather life's storms. It's like building a mental fortress, a safe haven where you can retreat when the outside world becomes too overwhelming. As Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." When we're constantly bombarded with negativity and fear-mongering, it's easy to fall into a spiral of anxiety and despair. But in solitude, we can gain perspective, remind ourselves of what truly matters, and cultivate a sense of gratitude for the good things in our lives. So, if you're feeling stressed, anxious, or burnt out, give yourself the gift of solitude. Turn off the distractions, step away from the noise, and create a space for quiet contemplation. You might be surprised at how much calmer, clearer, and more centered you feel when you emerge from your mental spa day. Remember, solitude is not about isolation or loneliness. It's about self-care and self-discovery. It's a powerful tool for cultivating inner peace, resilience, and a deeper connection to yourself and the world around you. Build deep relationships. Ever heard the saying, "Absence makes the heart grow fonder"? Turns out the Stoics were onto something similar centuries ago. They recognized a paradox. Sometimes the best way to strengthen our relationships is to spend time alone. It might seem counterintuitive, but hear me out. Think of your relationships as a dance. If you're constantly twirling around with your partner, never taking a break, you're bound to get dizzy and step on each other's toes. But if you step back, take a breath, and find your own rhythm, you can return to the dance with renewed energy and grace. Solitude is that much-needed breather. It's a chance to check in with yourself, to understand your needs, desires, and triggers. When you know yourself better, you're better equipped to communicate your needs to your loved ones, to set healthy boundaries, and to avoid unnecessary conflict. It's like putting on your own oxygen mask before assisting others. You can't truly be there for someone else if you're running on empty. Solitude allows you to fill your own cup, so you can show up for your loved ones with a full heart and a clear mind. Think of a time when you felt overwhelmed by a relationship. Maybe you were constantly arguing with your partner or feeling drained by a friend's negativity. Stepping back and taking some time for yourself probably gave you the clarity and perspective you needed to address the issue with compassion and understanding. Solitude also allows us to cultivate empathy and compassion. When we're not caught up in the whirlwind of social interactions, we can better understand the emotions and perspectives of others. We can put ourselves in their shoes, feel their pain, and offer genuine support. It's like taking off a pair of tinted glasses and seeing the world in a whole new light. With a clearer perspective, we can appreciate the unique qualities of our loved ones, their strengths, their weaknesses, and their struggles. We can love them more fully, not for who we want them to be, but for who they truly are. The next time you feel overwhelmed by your relationships or feel the need to recharge, don't be afraid to embrace solitude. In solitude, you're one with your mind, with your reason. Think over things you couldn't before. You might be surprised how this time away strengthens your connections and deepens your relationships. Remember, the Stoics weren't advocating for complete isolation. They recognized the importance of community and connection, but they also understood the transformative power of solitude. By finding a healthy balance between the two, we can cultivate relationships that are both fulfilling and sustainable. As Seneca said, life as we receive it is not short, but we make it so, nor do we have any lack of it, but we are wasteful of it. So, invest your time wisely, both in solitude and in meaningful connections with others. Alone but not lonely. Ever felt the sting of loneliness even in a crowded room? Like you're surrounded by people, yet somehow disconnected and adrift. It's a paradox of the contemporary world, but the Stoics, those ancient philosophers who valued inner peace and resilience, offer a surprising antidote: solitude. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "But wait, isn't solitude the same as loneliness?" Let's clear the air. While both involve being alone, they're worlds apart. Loneliness is a gnawing sense of isolation, a longing for connection that feels unfulfilled. Solitude, on the other hand, is a deliberate choice, a conscious stepping back from the noise and distractions of the world to reconnect with ourselves. The Stoics saw solitude not as a punishment but as a privilege, a chance to delve into the depths of our own minds and hearts. It's like hitting the pause button on a chaotic movie, allowing us to reflect on the plot, understand the characters, and appreciate the nuances we might have missed in the rush of action. So, how does solitude cure loneliness? Before we get to the answer, let's step back and understand that the application of the cure will be most effective when we view solitude as an opportunity. A rare opportunity, must we say, to apply the cure in this chaotic world, and a deliberate one at that. The cure itself then can be understood as tending to a neglected garden. In the quiet space of solitude, we can finally weed out the negativity, the self-doubt, and the limiting beliefs that fuel our feelings of isolation. We can plant seeds of self-acceptance and compassion, nurturing a healthy relationship with ourselves. Think of it as a mental decluttering session. In solitude, we can examine our thoughts and emotions without the distractions of external opinions or expectations. We can ask ourselves tough questions. What truly matters to me? What are my values? What am I passionate about? By answering these questions, we gain clarity and a deeper understanding of who we are, which can be incredibly empowering. But solitude isn't just about self-reflection. It's also about connecting with the world in a more profound way. When we step back from the hustle and bustle of daily life, we can appreciate the beauty of nature, the stillness of a quiet morning, or the simple joy of reading a good book. We can cultivate a sense of awe and wonder, reminding ourselves that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. This renewed sense of connection extends to our relationships as well. By taking time for solitude, we return to our social interactions with a clearer sense of self and a deeper appreciation for others. We become better listeners, more empathetic friends, and more present partners. So, if you're feeling lonely, don't be afraid to embrace solitude. It's not a sign of weakness or social awkwardness. It's a powerful tool for self-discovery, healing, and growth. Remember, you are not alone in your loneliness. Many of us struggle with feelings of isolation and disconnection in this fast-paced, technology-driven world. But by embracing solitude, you can cultivate a sense of inner peace, self-love, and belonging that transcends the need for external validation. So, take some time for yourself, disconnect from the noise, and reconnect with your own inner wisdom. You might be surprised at what you find. Practicing solitude is indeed like cleaning out a cluttered closet. You might find hidden treasures, items you forgot you owned, but that spark joy and excitement. You might unearth forgotten dreams, passions and talents that have been buried under the weight of everyday life. It's about self-discovery. It's about building resilience. It's about relying on your inner resources and becoming less dependent on external validation and less vulnerable to the opinions of others. It's about better and healthier relationships. A strong internal foundation, that's what solitude is. So, uncomplicate your life. Start small. Take a few minutes each day to sit in silence, go for a walk in nature without your phone, or simply disconnect from the digital world and be present with yourself. Transform yourself. So, the next time you find yourself craving some alone time, don't hesitate to embrace it. Use it as an opportunity to recharge, reflect, and reconnect with your inner self. But don't forget to step back into the world, to connect with loved ones, to contribute to your community, and to celebrate the shared human experience. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Stoicism. If you found these insights valuable, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and share this video with others who might benefit from this timeless philosophy. Let's continue this conversation in the comments below. Share your thoughts, your experiences, and your challenges. Together, we can create a community of Stoic learners, supporting each other as we strive to live more meaningful, virtuous, and fulfilling lives.